tried everything.
I have the emotional range of Dexter, so that didn't really affect me much.
That's an audio clip right there.
See, I give no shits about Cap. So
Oh, you
Oh,
hate America.
man.
That's because you hate
Yeah.
America.
Yeah, get out of
I
here.
hate America.
Yeah,
I
so he's not
mean-
Captain Constitution over here.
Welcome to Nerdy Drunk and Stoned. It is Sunday, August the 9th. It has been a minute, but I'm joined as always by Michael and Jason. But this week we have special guests Noah joining
Hey, everybody!
us.
Thanks for having me. Super excited. So,
He's a little bit of he's a little bit of a comic book guru that can
as you can
provide
tell,
more. Yeah, as you can tell
So-
from that amazing backdrop,
So-
he can definitely give us a little bit more information that we don't have. So, the San Diego Virtual Comic Con. What do y'all
which
think?
It was like
considered
2
a
weeks ago.
failure.
Was it like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
July
considered a
22nd
failure.
through 26th. Well, something as big as Comic-Con going online, especially for the first year of doing this, probably on short notice also. I mean, I don't know what was expected of them. So,
Well, considering, all right, more people for Justice Con that was involving the Snyder Cut posted and hashtagged and shared stuff on that, which was the same week as San Diego Comic Con. They did that more than San Diego Comic Con. Very few people on social media hashtagged or did anything of sharing of San Diego Comic Con. I saw on the
yeah,
news.
but those Snyder Cut people, dude, those are like zealots. Like they are out there, man.
Noah,
they
see,
are
this
on
is-
social media.
This is what I've had to deal with for about 3 weeks now. Is this
Soldiers.
ridicule? This
Soldiers.
ridicule.
I
of my
mean, the
support for
Snyder Cut
Snyder
is gonna
Cut.
rule.
No,
Thank
no.
you.
Okay,
Thank
look,
you.
It
now
will.
we're getting a.
Y'all are pivoting real hard, real quick.
That's fine.
Hey,
We're just
it's
gonna go to
involving-
the Snyder Cut. Who cares?
It's comic book related. I mean, we're talking Comic Con.
Yeah.
So-
We're talking Comic Con.
but
Steppenwolf.
we're getting a. The first trailer. It's like at the end of this month, right? It's like the
The
27th.
22nd,
22nd.
DC Fandonium,
Yeah.
fandom, something like that. Yeah.
And then we'll know for sure that it's going to be a piece of shit.
Well, hey,
So-
we got an image of Steppenwolf today.
We already know what he looks like, don't we?
No, they redesigned him.
No.
God.
This is the
Yeah.
kind of like, if this were DLC, you'd have to pay another $5 to get the skin.
To get the outfit,
Yeah,
the Steppenwolf
that's how good it
skin.
is.
But I mean, I honestly, whenever I was looking at him, I was trying to find images of the old version because it looks
He
so
looks
similar
bulkier.
to me.
The
Oh,
old
he-
version looks bulkier.
He's more
This
detailed,
one's a
I
lot
think.
more slimmer, and he's got more like protruding spikes, and
He has a lot
he's
more.
got more of.
He has more polygons. Say that.
He's
He
more of
definitely has more
intimidating.
polygons.
I
So-
kind of like the new look. Yeah, I guess the new look / old look, whatever you want to consider it. I think I like it better than. Yeah,
The
I
original.
definitely like it better than the original. Yeah, the original he does kind of have like an Ivan Ooze look going on. This
Yeah.
he kind of looks more monstrous. And let's be, he looks, yeah, okay, he's still a CG monster. And so either way you slice it, he just looked like a big CG monster. So
Mhm.
at least make him look monstrous. I mean,
I think the difference between the new Steppenwolf and the old one is basically going to be the difference between the Snyder Cut and the original Justice League.
edgier, more polygons.
It's gonna be. You're gonna look at it and go, "It's the same thing, but it's slightly more like dark or monstrous or whatever you want to call it." It's gonna be more Snyder.
Let me be clear towards Noah. Like the only reason I kind of mess with the Snyder cut is because I want it to be good. I really want it to be great and succeed. I think I liked Man of Steel more than any of us when we saw it in the theater.
I love Man of Steel.
And even to an extent, I kind of do like Batman versus Superman. A lot of people dog it, but it has its faults, just like a lot of movies do. But I think it was still strong in casting, and the story wasn't terrible. I thought it was interesting most of the way through. I think people have a problem with the style choices they made, and obviously.
Yeah, which one are we talking about? Theatrical or Ultimate Edition?
I haven't even seen Ultimate Edition, so there you go.
The Ultimate Edition expands so much of the Batman versus Superman.
I think I've watched some YouTube clips, because isn't there like a scene where he goes and talks to like or he like hallucinates talking to his dad or something? Isn't that in the Ultimate cut?
There's a lot more that just kind of fleshes out certain things that people had complaints about with the theatrical.
And so anyway, I want the Snyder cut to be good, but Justice League as a movie was just like so garbage to me. It was bad when I was watching it. Nothing about it. Nothing. Not even like
garbage.
Ben Affleck's Batman was like way worse in Justice League than he was in Batman versus Superman. I don't know. That whole movie was pretty uninteresting to me, and the plot was pretty dumb. And so I just don't know how you're gonna.
Okay, Jason.
Yeah, yeah, he did. I forgot about that. Thanks. So I don't know how you're gonna make like a 4 out of 10 movie into something great when its core is probably still gonna be the same. It's like you just said, Mike. It's like DLC for a bad game. I don't know how you make it a good game with DLC.
My argument with that is, why is there an Ultimate Edition to begin with? Why wasn't that the standard edition?
Noah?
Well, it's the studios.
Executives. Yeah, studio.
It's all about the studios. I mean, they always change things so much.
Yeah.
So
they usually have a panel of people, and they do a lot of screen testing, and they want to appeal to the widest audience. They don't want to appeal to like niche crowds and big comic book nerds. Even though it's a comic book property, they want everything to be Avengers, $2 billion, $3 billion movies. So you cut it down, you make it easy to understand. People don't care that Clark's going to talk to his dad. Like, cut that out, But fans want to see that shit,
Yeah.
Is that why?
But I mean, even like the Marvel stuff, they got their problems. Like, look at Ant-Man.
Look at
came down
Captain
to
Marvel.
studios. But like Ant-Man, for example, it had the guy that did Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz and
the guy. I'll figure it out real fast.
I can't think of the director, but he was supposed to do
Edgar
Ant-Man.
Wright. It's Edgar Wright.
Yeah, Edgar Wright. He was supposed to do Ant-Man, but then
he did most of it though. Yeah, I thought he literally did like 70 or 80% of the original Ant-Man, and then they brought in a new director to finish it because he didn't want to basically didn't want to play ball with what they wanted him to do.
But Edgar Wright really liked the director that they chose originally, and then they just knocked him out.
Really?
So, yeah. So I mean, it's the studios. They always destroy a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, they meddle in ideas.
See, but I would argue that Marvel does pay fan service. Marvel does know that niche is the people that are wanting to see that stuff. So I feel like that's why I can't believe there's such drastic differences with DC content as opposed to Marvel. Like it's very obvious, and the numbers speak for themselves. That's why DC's constantly playing catch up.
Yeah.
It's that Kevin Feige factor. and the ability to lay out a long-term plan as opposed to rushing things and having people then excited years later for a recut version of a movie that was supposed to be a massive blockbuster success that created your universe to begin with.
But at the same time, if for Justice League talk, if you're going into that, it also had a lot to do with problems with the director, that family issues. You can't forget about those.
Yeah, production.
Yeah.
I mean,
he stepped away for a reason.
Yeah, for a very good reason too.
Yeah,
I mean,
it wasn't.
It was a pretty big thing.
I am actually going to contest that. As you guys know, I am a big Kevin Smith fan, and there is rumor that the whole family situation was not a family situation. That they just wanted him out. Period.
Well, now this is hearsay. This is slander.
This is
Kevin Smith said this?
Kevin Smith, he worked with people that worked on that project, and they said that the whole idea of him leaving because it was some sort of family emergency or what have you, that was not necessarily true. That there was disagreements at a higher level. That caused this falling out. And they tried to plug and replace with Joss, who, have we talked about Cyborg yet? And the wonderful things that Cyborg Ray Fisher has had to say about him. I mean,
Ray Fisher just doesn't need to talk. So
ooh.
I think he should just don't bite the hand that feeds you,
I mean,
he should. He said some things lately, and I'm just like, I don't know. I just think some actors should just stay silent. So,
honestly, I don't think that's like some actors. I kind of hold that thought. Look, if your director is like, well, but not even then. You can look at like great movies, like Apocalypse Now and stuff, and you can, it's well documented how like abusive and mean and the director was. But I mean, it's his vision. You're getting paid. I hate to say it, it's the NFL argument. You're getting paid $20 million to go out there and deliver the product. Like, all you have to do is act. Just go and act.
Shut up and do what you're told.
Yeah, you're like way above the 1% because you took theater. Just go get your paycheck, homie.
Regular employees have to shut up and do what they're told. So.
Yeah, for minimum wage.
Yeah.
So yeah, no sympathy for any actor that complains. It's not even on the same level, and she definitely is not on the same level. But the Megan Fox Transformers Michael Bay thing, it was my first.
Oh, the Nazi stuff. Yeah.
Was my first mindset that I can think of biting the hand that feeds you. Like, he made her a star, and then she wanted to bitch about how he sexualized her in the film and stuff. And I'm like, guess what? Now you're famous.
See Mike's eyes shifting.
So it's just like, just do what you're told.
I'm all for that, but there's clear, if it becomes physical or sexual, I think there are clear lines. But yeah, just because a director is berating you on set, so it's fine for Christian Bale to trash a dude for some lights. And, we don't care about that, but,
Why is it, though, that nearly, all of the heavy... first of all, they had to do reshoots for the Snyder Cut. It's not going to be just some repackaged, redistributed, version of the Justice League. We're going to get new content. But when all of the heavy hitters, all the major actors, Ben Affleck, Wonder Woman, all these people are saying that to release the Snyder Cut,
they're excited.
I can't help but think that there's something more to that.
Could agree.
Yeah.
So for the fourth,
and we won't get this Superman at all.
Oh.
So we won't get this Superman at all in the Snyder Cut.
Which
are you sure you don't want that Superman?
Which I
don't want that Superman at all.
I'm disappointed. I'm real disappointed about the fact that at the DC whatever con that they have on their own, they released a list of people.
On the 22nd.
Yeah, they released a list of names of people that are going to be in their universe moving forward. Henry Cavill's name was not in there. Very disappointing.
I thought he was on board though. Like he wants to keep playing Superman tonight.
I think there's lawyers fighting in the background. I think.
I thought I heard that he did some contract thing where, now mind you, it doesn't kind of. I feel like there's more to the contract that they're not revealing, but he signed on for cameo roles like in the Black Adam movie, or maybe he's going to make an appearance after credits in the upcoming James Gunn Suicide Squad movie or something like that.
So maybe take on more of a Iron Man type.
But he is a leading actor though, so I don't see him just doing cameos. Like after playing the huge role of Superman, basically lead in 3 movies, I don't see him just signing a contract for 3 or 4 cameos. I feel like a Superman movie was added, but they're just not revealing that.
Well, if you threw enough money his way, I'm sure he wouldn't mind doing cameos. But yeah, you're gonna have to throw money his way. I just think he likes the role and wants to reprise it. I think he's been pretty public with that.
Oh yeah.
But I know at the end of Shazam, clearly it wasn't Henry Cavill. They just did look, it's Superman. You can't see his face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So speaking of Shazam and Black Adam, I know Mike, Noah, y'all both have opinions about is it Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson?
I think Dwayne Johnson.
Is he officially cast as Black Adam?
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was.
Yeah.
I was under the impression he was. Yeah. But they just haven't filmed anything.
Well, yeah, they don't make movies anymore. Movies are done.
Yeah.
A thing of the past.
We're all talking about a hypothetical future that doesn't exist.
With him as Black Adam, I've always wanted to see Dwayne Johnson just in a comic book role because he's just got that. He's got that persona that would just fit a comic book movie.
Yeah, he has charisma. Yeah. He has charisma.
Yeah,
and he's a very good comedic actor.
Oh yeah.
I personally haven't seen any of the Jumanjis. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know if he has serious chops these days as an actor.
The only thing I can think of is Ballers, maybe Serious.
Oh, I need to watch that. I keep forgetting to watch that show. That's with Mark Wahlberg.
He's been doing more comedy stuff. So.
Yeah. Him and Kevin Hart had just found out that they work really well together and that they can make a fuck ton of money together. So
yeah, no, they're really good together.
Oh, are they releasing a Black Adam trailer at this DC fandom?
I'd be surprised.
The Rock tweeted out literally yesterday, I think.
I would imagine if they released anything, it would probably be more of a teaser.
Yeah, I think it's a teaser. I think he teased that as a teaser.
You could maybe put him in the outfit or do something quick, and then just do the name and be coming in some future 20 years, whatever.
I think they have it slated at 21, so they have it coming out next year.
The DC fandom will probably see maybe some concept art, maybe some poster looks and stuff. Not a lot of footage from things. I think the Snyder Cut will be the largest footage thing we'll see, because I don't think they're really filming anything right now. But there'll probably be more reveals of upcoming stuff. Like there's probably going to be some HBO Max reveals, like the Green Lantern TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Or I know that they have a couple other things, like maybe what was it? Stargirl, a lot of the CW stuff.
Do you think
Warner Brothers things, video games?
So. We had discussed previously that they were possibly going to use the Flash film as a way of tying in the TV universe,
the CW universe with your DC extended universe.
Film universe.
Yeah, like, but they already did that. They already did that with
Crisis.
Crisis. The movie Flash is in that for like 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, but could you start pulling those characters into?
I hope it's in that contract. That's all I gotta say. Henry Cavill showing up on the CW. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't mean like him being on TV. I meant like the TV people showing up in the films as a way of them fleshing out their film universe.
Quite possibly. Because CW, as much as some people may say, they kill it with comic book television. Like CW has basically become the mecca for comic book shows.
Oh
yeah, have so many successful shows. You got Supergirl, which is on season 6. You got Legends of Tomorrow, which is on like season 6 also. Arrow just ended its 7th run. Season 7 or 8 of The Flash. Then you got season 4 or 5 of Black Lightning. Stargirl has been pretty successful. I mean, they're just killing it with comic book television.
But as Adam said earlier, to me it seems very clear that CW kind of has that Kevin Feige influence. Like they're basically smart and lay out a groundwork and a plan for their universes, just like Marvel has always done. So it's silly when the CW is outplaying your DC cinematic universe to like a great degree in storytelling.
I'll give you that.
It's frustrating because I would say Melissa Benoist, I think is her name. She's
Supergirl.
She's a fantastic Supergirl.
Yeah, she's really
good. I totally agree. Yeah.
It's just frustrating.
I definitely think she's the most famous of all of the CW like superhero cast.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So yeah, but, I agree. She's great.
I'll tee one up for you here, Noah. How do you feel about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. coming to an end here? I know you wanted to talk about that.
I'm so sad about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is like the little show that could. It just kept on chugging along, chugga. It just would not give up. I mean, seriously, look at all the other comic book shows. Netflix, canceled. Like so many shows have done okay, but Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., even though they started off with the full-on backing of the MCU, I think even Feige had something to do with the pilot.
Yeah, he did.
And stuff. And then they were just like, you know what? Fuck you. We don't care about that. And then Disney buys out Marvel later on. And then they're just like, oh, yeah, we're going to do our own streaming service. We're going to forget about your Hulu shit. We're going to forget about your Netflix stuff. But Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. still going strong. I mean, they still had connections even whenever everybody had forgotten about it.
My cloak and dagger.
I know you like your cloak and dagger.
Question: It is still all done by Joss Whedon, right? That is like a Joss Whedon show.
No, he did a couple of the episodes of the first season.
Oh, okay.
But that was pretty much it. But they've had connections through Winter Soldier, Age of Ultron. They've had cast members from Thor that have featured in there. Nick Fury has been featured. They've even had the best Ghost Rider we've ever had, like, period. And it was awesome. I mean, the show has been able to do so many things, everything they wanted, more than any other comic book show. Like, they went from all right, we're going to stay connected to the MCU to, okay, now that they're forgetting about us, we get to do anything we want. And they did that. And they've done some mind-blowing storylines. And Clark Olsen, Greg, or the guy who plays, what's his name? Coulson.
Wow, Agent Coulson.
He's been spectacular through the whole run.
Isn't that what it's kind of circled? Isn't that what the story's based around? Isn't it based around him? Because I haven't watched much of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
If you were going to call anyone the lead, like, wouldn't he be the lead?
Yes and no, because he's had some parts, like, he's died multiple times in the show.
Oh, wow.
And he's died in the movies, too. He dies a lot.
He was brought back. He was brought back and stuff. But yeah, they've had so many, like, characters that have, like, come and gone. There's been a couple that have been consistent. Fitz and Simmons, they're the tech people. Then you have Linda May or something. She played Mulan in the animated movie. She was the voice.
Oh, okay.
And she's basically like Scarlett Johansson, but more badass than Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow. Like, I'm pretty sure she could take a Black Widow.
I mean, Black Widow just jumps off a building, so...
Yeah, she just does somersaults.
It's not hard to beat her.
And then you have
She just lets go of rocks and falls. That's what she does.
And then you have Quake / Daisy / Sky, who was... started off as a techie, then became an Inhuman, and she's been probably right up there with, like, Coulson. And, like, she's been one of the main leads. Probably lately more than Coulson.
So, no, I gotta ask you, and I catch a lot of flack from these two about this all the time, is the fact that I say that Infinity War is... oh, wait, no, I might have this backward. Endgame is a far better movie than Infinity War.
You're
disagree
on this one.
Thank you, Noah. Thank you.
God, 3 wrong people.
All right.
The comic guru has spoken. That's it.
I'm not saying Endgame isn't great. Endgame is amazing.
Sure, absolutely.
I want to add an animation where it's like ding, 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 like 3 stars on us, and then like an X on my.
No. I'm not bashing Mike's opinion. You know that's great, but I'm gonna go because I didn't see it the midnight release that you and Jason saw.
Oh, you messed out.
But no, I saw the day after, and from what Adam says, it was the same reaction.
Oh yeah,
and I've never seen that in a movie theater before. After the movie ended, when it just bam, everybody starts being like turning to ash. Everybody was silent. I have never seen that. The whole movie time I've been going to movies, I've never seen a silent theater. No cell phones out.
At the end of Endgame.
The way I described it.
I'm at Infinity War.
I'm gonna let Noah.
It was like a family member died.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the best way that I described it to people. Was that at the end of the film, when you're walking out of the theater, it felt like you were leaving a funeral. Because it was just dead silence. Like, instead of...
And even walking out, nobody was talking.
Instead of the general chatter that you sort of have about... And people, like, you kind of whisper when you walk past people that you know are waiting in line. It felt like it was a funeral that was concluding, and you were all exiting quietly.
What does Star-Lord say? You know, he's like, "Wait, did we just lose?" You know, and that's like, you know, you're walking out and you're still like, so they lost. So Thanos won. Okay.
So
and also, I don't think that's like one of those rare moments where you see the bad guy win. You don't see that, like, no, you don't. It's not a common thing in cinema history where the bad guy wins.
When it came out, I remember, you know, a week down the road, a lot of people discredited it because, you know, as an adult that, well, you know, we have Infinity War. Obviously, these characters aren't going to stay dead. They're contracted. Like, there are things that you know as an adult with the internet that you know, well, that was a bold play. But realistically, it's gonna, you know, we're gonna reverse it all eventually. But I still think it was the children don't know that. People under the age of 10, when they go see Spider-Man turn to dust, they don't know that he's contracted for another movie. Like, they just watch like half of their characters just die on screen. Like, I couldn't imagine being like 8 or 10 and be like, what did I just see? Like,
and then you have the dialogue alone, like that improv dialogue coming from Tom Holland when he was like, I don't want to go, Mr. Stark. I don't want to go. And everybody's like, holy shit. You're like, what the hell? No, don't go. So, I mean, it just had, like, it had everything.
I have the emotional range of Dexter, so that didn't really affect me much.
That's an audio clip right there.
I was like, that's
we're adding that to the
Spider-Man.
intro.
But your entire so there's a couple one-liners, but your whole theory is contingent upon the fact that the good guys lost. Like,
okay.
But also, all right, there was other things, like, to me, I don't think Adam was with me. There's not a lot lately with comic book movies that have me screaming. I was like screaming in the theater with a couple of scenes more than Endgame.
I don't know. Endgame, I was definitely more hyped for. Like, Endgame, watching that was like watching a fucking football game. Like, it was ridiculous how animated that crowd was.
I would put Civil War ahead of Infinity War.
Blasphemy!
I feel like you're just trying to be the antagonist right now.
I'm contrarian.
I'm not being
the contrarian. You're trying to be the contrarian antagonist.
Okay. So very quickly, my only argument for Infinity War over Endgame is that Infinity War is like Thanos' story, and it tells a very good story. Remember all the conversation? I bet you knew people in real life that literally was like, yeah, Thanos was right. Like, when you can have one movie where people empathize with your villain to such a degree, like, wow, he actually makes a lot of sense, and he wins, and even though he wins, but you're still like, man, this guy had to sacrifice so much, and yes, he's crazy.
I searched so hard for a Thanos was right shirt that I liked.
But so all I'm saying is that it told a very good story. Whether you agree with Thanos, whether you don't, like, the movie had a great villain. He wasn't just Stephen Wolf. He wasn't just a CG monster. Like, he was looking for his stones, but he was like a character you empathized with. But then
he wasn't Ultron.
Yes, but the problem with Endgame is Thanos became Ultron. When Thanos showed back up, it's young Thanos, and it's just, you guys are assholes. I'm gonna beat you up. And sure, it has really good fan service, the best that you've ever seen on screen. But your villain was stripped to just like a bare, like a piece of wood, basically.
When you hold them up together.
He went from a tree, a full oak tree, to just like a fucking coffee table.
Infinity War was better. But I would say the one thing I'll give Endgame is I was literally like just like in tears, and then I would catch my breath, and then in tears again, and then catch my breath, and then in tears again. That's just because like Iron Man's my boy. So
when Cap got his hammer, that almost made it the best movie ever.
That's also true.
It was when Cap was on his own. It was 1,000,000 to 1, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you hear on your left, bud. Like, he's not alone. And
I've always been a Captain guy.
It's got its moments.
It has its best fan service of probably any film I've ever seen ever. It has these incredible moments that crescendo, but good moments. As an overall story, I think Endgame is a lesser story than Infinity War. It's just a combination of a lot better told stories. I think I said that right.
It's story and action mixed together.
It's just a combination of a bunch of great storytelling and it's just the finale. So it's rewarding, but on its own, it can't stand without everything that came before it.
Yeah, because God forbid that fucking time travel shit is boring as shit to me still.
Absolutely, yeah.
I enjoyed it.
I watch and Endgame up until when they start. Yeah, every time they cut to the New York whatever, I'm like, all right, let's just skip to where Thor, Iron Man, and Captain are fighting Thanos. Let's just get this shit out of the way.
Ignore this shit. I don't know how they tried to figure out something to fit in the middle.
No,
like literally good story writers. You write. I think the advice given is you write your beginning and you write your ending and then you fill in the middle. And they did fill in the middle, but it didn't work. At least not for me.
It doesn't work rewatching. In the theater when I saw it the first time, I was just like, man, this is wild. I cannot believe we're going back to like fucking New York and Avengers. Captain's fighting Captain. Yeah. Tony's meeting his dad. But on rewatching, yeah, it feels a little like, whoa.
Dad. Oh.
So see, good. I don't care about Tony Stark, so none of that meant shit to me. I was like, oh, you got daddy issues. You got to go talk to your dad.
All right. What about Cap in the office of Agent Carter?
See, to me, that felt that faked out, too, because they did. I was like, oh, just go talk to her, man. And then he didn't. He fucking. But then he did.
Oh, man. I completely forgot about that. Oh, yeah. My heart goes out to. My boy Cap. I'm reliving that heartache all over again, man.
See, I give no shits about Cap. So.
Oh, you hate America. Man. That's because you hate America.
Yeah, get out of here.
Do not hate America.
Yeah, so he's not Captain Constitution over here.
Jeez. Well, you just don't like Captain America?
Yeah.
He's my boy.
I don't dislike him. I'm just saying I don't personally relate to or care about the character that much.
What is
as opposed to others? I was just asking Noah. Is Agent Carter is that actress and character is she in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Because I've never watched.
She has her own show.
She had 2 seasons.
Oh, that is true. She did.
They did a crossover way back in the day, and then right now they have one of the characters from Agent Carter that's a regular on the last season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He was taken out of his own time.
Okay.
And he's in present day, so.
Very quickly, what is everyone's favorite Marvel movie, just off the top of your head?
MCU?
Yeah, MCU, just MCU. What's
Winter
your favorite?
Soldier.
Oh, okay, there you go. Good job, Noah. I was gonna say Winter Soldier. So yeah, it's the best overall movie for sure.
You can't. This is one of my things I stand with. You can't argue anything about Winter Soldier. It's perfection in every aspect.
If you don't watch any other Marvel movie, you can just watch Winter Soldier, and it's a good enough contained story with the best action of any of the films, I think.
See, I disagree because I feel you need to watch the other Marvel movies to get to that big reveal, which had everybody in the theater floored. Whenever you're like,
you're talking about
Shield Hydra.
Oh,
Shield Hydra, okay. And you're just like, oh! Everybody's flipping out over that. That was
I hadn't seen probably... literally. I think Winter Soldier was maybe the second Marvel movie I had seen after Avengers, and I remember being like, "This movie's just really fucking good." Because I'm a big action guy, and it was the action choreography reminded me of the Jason Bourne films or something. It was so well shot. I was like, "Damn! This movie's really good."
For me, I would say, and I'm only gonna say this because he is my favorite. He is probably my favorite Marvel superhero. But out of all the Marvel movies, I find it the most rewatchable because for me, Endgame, Infinity War, at least for me, I feel like you have to become very emotionally invested if you're gonna get into the viewing of those movies. But for me, it's got to be the first Captain America movie where he gets his powers, just because it's so old school, just because it's so pure, pure Captain America. Pieces. Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, that's good. Sometimes those period pieces are really good.
It's something
it's a solid standalone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you kind of have a good point. Winter Soldier is kind of like the edgier, like this is Captain having to like become a renegade, you know?
Yeah.
I think only because I am, because of the political aspects of it. Probably Winter Soldier.
Oh yeah, with Winter Soldier, yeah.
That was
probably
the
other thing I was going to mention.
You go for Winter Soldier because of the political plot points.
Well, it is more political.
You know who I am, though. Like that's just kind of my personality. Right. So
Nick Fury as Captain Constitution.
It adds a little bit extra to it for me, as opposed to like picking an easy answer like Infinity War or Iron Man 1 because it laid the groundwork or something like that.
No, and you're correct. Actually, that's a good point. I remember like the villain in that movie, sure, while he's a complete asshole and he wants to kill like 15 million people, it's kind of like this, his logic isn't the worst. Like
it was like that first Thanos kind of argument of like greater good ? Like
well, he got comically bad at the end because he's like, no, it's fine to shoot 15 million people with laser guns. It's fine, and you're like, exactly. No, you had me for a while. When you're like, this is the new age, Captain. You're a relic. Like this is how it has to be. But then when you're like, we're just gonna shoot. It's in like the movies. It's like Star Wars when you're a good guy and you're a bad guy are gonna team up. But first we have to kill all of your friends, and then we'll be good guys. So like,
I mean, you could still argue like, I would love to have a fucking political discussion someday about Star Wars and like just the idea, the fact that the rebels are quote unquote good guys. Like,
yeah, right.
Jason,
terrorist.
Jason, what about you?
Oh, I already said Winter Soldier.
No, I said Winter Soldier.
If I had to, probably past that, it maybe goes to Guardians of the Galaxy 1, I think. Past that.
Well, then
Guardians. Oh God, I missed that one too. But yeah, that's a strong. That's probably one of the strongest standalones.
Yeah,
like
Guardians 1 kind of has like
you could make Guardians 1 without the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
And it's a fucking amazing film. Like from beginning to end, you don't need explanation. Like it's great.
So I'll flip that question. What is your favorite DC?
I knew you were gonna do
this. That should be an easy answer for everyone. And if it's
DCEU?
not
DCEU?
Yeah.
Or just right now, like
wait,
the whole.
Can you do like old Batman and like Blade?
Any DC
Blade
movie.
is Marvel, so just DC property.
Marvel.
Any DC is.
But like Watchmen.
It should be.
Oh, it's probably Watchmen then. I love Watchmen.
Is Watchmen DC?
It was by Vertigo, and Vertigo is owned by DC.
Yeah, and Snyder. It's a Snyder movie, man. I really love Watchmen. I probably watched that.
But if you want to go
20
just strict DC,
times.
then not Watchmen.
It's Dark Knight across the board. If you answer otherwise, you're wrong. Period.
See, that's gonna segue us into a whole nother conversation.
Period. That's all I'm saying.
Because these
The Dark Knight is one of the greatest film experiences I've ever had.
These two guys,
right before Infinity War.
These two guys disagree with me, and I will not back down from this position ever. But I hold and maintain that Rises is the superior movie in the Nolan trilogies.
Noah, please explain to him why he's fucking insane.
Well, I liked Rises, but
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying
Dark Knight it's blasphemy.
I take nothing. I take nothing from Heath Ledger. I take nothing away from Heath Ledger. He was an amazing Joker. Made that movie what it was.
He was the #1 Joker.
But Batman.
And then what's his name as Two-Face? Spectacular.
Oh yeah. Oh, I can't believe Aaron Eckhart is his name.
Aaron Eckhart was amazing.
Yeah. We didn't even have to Google
that.
But
then you had. Dark Knight had nothing bad about it. But then you had Dark Knight Rises, which I can list one bad thing, and it was a pretty bad one. was the shitty performance, and some people agree, some people may disagree. That's just my stance. The shitty performance of Talia Ghul, even though she wasn't Talia Ghul until the end of the film. So,
I mean,
and she's not a bad actress. She's not a bad actress.
I mean, what would you have changed?
I think it was maybe the material that she was given, but that wasn't Talia Ghul. That wasn't the character from the animated. Yeah. That wasn't the character from the comics. That was not Talia Ghul.
All right, fair enough. I'll give you that. But my whole reason is because
I mean, this is the mother of Damian Wayne, who I freaking hate so much in the comic books, who I so badly want the Flash to go back in time, pull Bruce out of Talia to prevent Damian Wayne from being born. That's how much I hate Damian. But still, she still has a big presence in the comic books as being the mother of everybody's, for some odd reason, favorite Robin. So,
see, at least with the Dark Knight, fighting the Joker, all those things were reasonable, like, within Batman's ability to deal with. With Rises, we're talking about Batman being broken. This is like Nightfall, which I'm sure you've read.
Oh yeah, Nightfall was amazing. It wasn't close to the greatness of the comic.
Correct.
Not even close.
But literally, Batman, like that moment where Batman, he just kind of looks around, sitting in his bat jet or whatever it's called, which that is a big
bat plane. Yeah,
I have an issue. Why not just call it like, why call it the Bat? It's literally one of my biggest issues was like such a cheesy name for a flying crab machine. Like, I get it. It wasn't pretty.
He's named Batman.
But the fact that, he had to deal with something bigger than him, far bigger than him. It's the Rocky model of people saying, well, Rocky 2 is better than Rocky 3 because he finally beats, Apollo. I gotta say, him losing to Bane and rising above that, I just thought that
I'm not arguing. It is good. It is great, but Dark Knight was the pinnacle. So
it was the
and
most
I'm not
popular.
saying it's a drastic decline. I'm not at all saying that. I'm just it's
apples to apples.
It's rare that you see a third film in a franchise after a successful sequel. It's rare to see a successful sequel, but also to see a successful third film. Like, it's rare to see that. And it wasn't unsuccessful, but it wasn't as successful as Dark Knight. That's just me.
I think that whole trilogy, you can speak for its success based on the fact that two of you like the Dark Knight. You're a Rises person, and I think Batman Begins is the best one. So you literally have.
I love Begins.
Begins is my favorite out of all of them. But to Mike's credit, Rises has really good moments, and I think it's better on rewatches. I'm warming up to it more,
I really, to tell you the truth, I haven't watched Rises. I have it on Blu-ray. I have not rewatched it since IMAX.
Really? Damn.
Not to do it again, but I think it's the politics of Rises that's starting to resonate more and more. That's making it a better.
Do you just want to nuke all major metropolitan areas?
No, I'm saying like pull them from their houses.
Mike, light it up.
See, much better.
What does it? Then he's like, prepare. He said, what do we have to get ready for? War.
Exactly. Which I'll give you guys this.
It's modern day Seattle.
The whole line of like, oh, you've come back, like, and Batman, he's like, no, I came back to stop you. Like, that was really fucking lame. Like, I'll give you that.
Came back to die with your city.
Yeah. Yeah, that was.
And then they're literally like just standing silhouette, like, and then they just start punching.
Yeah, the Jeet Kune Do fighting. looks like action figures fighting each other.
Yeah, it's just so ridiculous because they're having like this monologue while like people are fighting all around them. Like, no one's got a sucker punch Batman or something. Like,
but I'll see. This is part of the reason why I like Rises so much more. Is that initial fight between Batman and Bane, when he did the dark thing where like you couldn't see where Batman was and he just pulls him out of the darkness, that was so dope, and it was so painful as a Batman fan. But like things like that you didn't get. You know, you got Radar like in The Dark Knight. Like that's about as far as like the technological or special effects aspect went. Like I feel like there was a lot more tricks that they did in Rises because Heath Ledger passed away. They had to make up for it.
yeah.
But I don't know. Like you are a big fan of George Clooney as Batman. His Batman.
No, not as Batman. No, not as Batman.
Bruce Wayne.
Oh, okay.
Bruce Wayne.
Bruce Wayne is.
I have never defended his Batman
argument.
Yeah.
His Batman fares way better than Christian Bale. You know, his Batman fares against Bane, and they're fighting on like a metal.
Yeah, you can't.
A metal thing, just like
you
there's
can't
a lot
even
of
bring up
similarities.
that character, okay? You can't even bring up that Bane in like a serious conversation about.
I mean, I'm just saying his fared way better than Nolan's Batman.
Which he was with Poison Ivy. He was right. Was he Batman and Robin?
Yeah. That was kind of the downfall of that. The upset mean Flowers, which that was kind of.
But then you had that good Batgirl. I like Batgirl. Alicia Silverstone.
Yeah.
Oof, man.
Yeah, man.
So,
that is something I will give all of the women
cast.
in the George Clooney Batman. Is all the women in those movies are smoking hot.
And they're, generally speaking, most of them are great actresses. I guess we temporarily lost Noah, and then we're going to try to get him back.
Don't worry, I'll stitch it together.
Who is Bruce Wayne's? Who's his love interest in Batman Forever?
Nicole Kidman.
Oh yeah, man! Damn.
There's a really nice scene where she is.
I mean, that's kind of hard to beat.
She's like laying under these sheets, and Batman just kind of flies in,
comes in.
Yeah.
It's like
a pretty
almost,
sexy scene. Like I will give
it's
it
almost it's a Superman-esque. It's a Superman-esque moment.
Mm-hmm.
As far as like, because usually you get that with.
Okay, I'm back.
You usually get the whole Superman and Lois Lane like moments like that. You don't usually have Batman being that character.
Yeah, she was just like so ridiculously beautiful, I guess, in her like roles like that. Because I kind of started knowing who Nicole Kidman was from like Eyes Wide Shut, and I mean she looks really good in that movie. Yeah, then I go and watch her in Batman Forever, and I'm just like, Jesus.
It's like someone.
No wonder you married her, Tom Cruise.
I was just about to say, it's like someone from DC was like, who's Tom Cruise married to? What, Katie Holmes? Yeah, get her on there. Just sign her. Like, it's like nothing but all these people that Tom Cruise has dated that end up being these damsels in distress for Batman. Yeah.
See, all right, going into that, with
you can't have a 5'6" Batman though. That's why Tom Cruise will never make it.
It's now a good career move for a woman to marry Tom Cruise so they can be a Batman love interest.
And you know that you'll just divorce him in like 30 years. So.
Exactly.
For Scientology will force them.
No, it's because you're 25. So.
But with Katie Holmes, who do you think betrayed a better the character that she played?
Rachel.
Yeah, her or Maggie Gyllenhaal. I kind of went
with Katie Holmes. Maggie.
I agree.
You are out of your mind.
No, it's hard for me to think of them as the same character. I know they are, but they act really completely different.
It's hard.
Miss Gyllenhaal over there, she was a much more serious actress, and so she was, for the drama of The Dark Knight, she was much better. But in my head, when I think of the character, I still think of Katie Holmes at Batman Begins. So
see, I never saw her as Maggie Gyllenhaal as like a childhood friend to Bruce Wayne.
Yeah,
like she didn't carry over what Katie Holmes did.
Yeah,
and I didn't believe that. Like with Katie Holmes, I totally believed that they were childhood friends growing up, and then she rose herself up to this top lawyer position or whatever. But then Maggie Gyllenhaal, all she played in Dark Knight was just the lawyer, not the friend to Bruce Wayne. I didn't get that angle at all.
I think it's the girl next door factor. Like Katie Holmes felt like the girl next door, so it felt like someone that he would grow up with, and then they would have that kind of connection.
Well, in Batman Begins, they have that connection.
They do have that connection in Batman.
That's my point. That's my point. Like, that's why Katie Holmes is the like premier choice of those two, because she has that girl next door feeling. Like, it feels like someone that he grew up with and who he is like in love with. Like, and he always has been, but took them in different directions.
It just
you didn't get
the Dark Knight. You don't, like you were saying. No, there's no really callbacks to that. It's just, it feels like an old flame that he doesn't want to let her go and get married. Like, oh, you're getting married now? Actually, I don't have to be Batman anymore. Come on.
No, that's not what happened.
Okay,
let me clear this up. It was when Batman was no longer needed. Was when
Batman will always
where she teases him, where she kisses him at the end of Batman Begins. How cruel is that? That's the cruelest. She's the worst Batman villain of all three Batman movies.
But she doesn't know that he's Bat. Oh, she does, doesn't she?
She does.
She
yes.
says, Bruce.
Yeah, that's
because he does that quote.
Yeah, he gives that
when you no longer need the mask or whatever.
Yeah. That's right. I forgot about
that. Batman just can't catch a break in any of the Nolan movies. It's always a bad time for this guy. Like,
but it's it's the Crown. No, it's not the Crown weighs heavy. That's a bad analogy. It's like the Spider-Man. Great responsibility.
It's heavy as the head that wears the crown.
Yeah, he can't keep a relationship because he's a fucking crazy person. He's a psychopath. So
all right, well, real quick.
See, I disagree. There's always but I'm a big fan of the comics. Catwoman is the greatest relationship he will ever have.
I agree.
I don't read the comics. I can't attest to any of that.
What about your feelings about the Catwoman in whose movies was that? Was that Burton's?
Oh, Michelle Pfeiffer.
Michelle Pfeiffer is the best Catwoman. Yeah.
Yes.
Easily.
Yeah, when she gets resuscitated by the cat gods after they bite her fingers and bring her back to life. That was so bad. That was so bad. Like, and, I will say this. She was really sexy as a Catwoman, but, like, just some of the lines were, like, really bad in that movie that it just took away from her performance. And half the shots of her were just on her ass. So, I mean, like... I mean,
like to quote Mike or Adam.
She was in latex.
This is Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman. Was basically every boy our age. That's what got us having those feelings when we were little. We were just like, "Holy shit!"
That was Poison Ivy, man.
No,
Poison Ivy as well.
I remember being like, "What is happening here?" What is going on?
This is the puberty episode of Dirty Drunk and Stoned.
When she licked Batman, and you're just like, holy shit, what's going on?
See, I think I was still too young, and I was like, oh, that's weird. Like, that's
I
gross.
wasn't. I was like, why is Batman licking his lips? after he just got licked. He's like, oh, I like it.
He's like, got milk.
And like, there's just so many bad scenes. Like immediately after that scene, Batman's sitting down, pulling these like things out of his like rib cage.
Oh, the claws.
And it looks like Batman's sitting on the shitter. Like, you know, it just, and then he's holding a phone. Like he's talking to Alfred. And he's holding a phone to his
Was it a bat phone?
No, it's just a regular phone, but he's
holding it to his bat.
Yeah, there's
head.
How are you gonna hear that through the mask? Like it was so
through the rubber.
Yeah, exactly.
Through the rubber.
Yeah, which is supposed to be bulletproof.
You can argue.
It's supposed to be bulletproof, but he shreds it like fucking mozzarella cheese at the end of that movie. He just rips that thing right off. Like, oh god.
You can make arguments like that all day. They're like, why the hell did fucking Christian Bale's Batman like still use the voice to people who knew who he was? Like it. There are always like little inconsistencies that you go, that makes absolutely no sense, but whatever. It's
I liked his voice. I liked it.
People, I had no problem with the voice. I'm just saying that there were still people that, after they found out who he was, he still talked like this, and I was like, "Bruh, they know who you are. Like, you don't need to hide your voice anymore." I don't understand at this point why you're doing this.
Fair enough. So. Moving on.
Batman to death.
Moving on.
Beat it to death.
What is your favorite villain? We always talk about superheroes, DC or Marvel. And I'll start it off.
Yeah, please do, because there's gonna be a lot of dead air where everyone thinks.
Big Magneto fan, which I would hardly even categorize him as a bad guy, but he kind of walks that line.
All right, Thanos. All right. Yeah, let's kill all the humans. I'm not a bad guy. Get it.
I mean, there's a storyline where Xavier dies and Magneto takes over the school and becomes like a protector, and I forget where it's from, but I don't know, just like
we're talking everything, like not just the movies.
Comic.
Okay.
Honestly, I want to hear Noah's opinion first, just so that I have a bigger range to choose from.
I'll just interject right here and say I don't. We have a Suicide Squad movie. I don't know why we don't have a. Who are the bad guys in X-Men that Magneto kind of runs?
The
Brotherhood.
Brotherhood. I don't
Brotherhood
know.
Of Evil Mutants.
Yeah, I don't know why Marvel hasn't started making a Brotherhood movie line to culminate into like an Avengers level event of Brotherhood running alongside X-Men.
Planning on it.
I think that would be like the smartest thing ever. If you had like these relatable antagonists coming together again, like you have standalone movies, do a Suicide Squad-esque movie with them, and then you're running like your X-Men Avengers alongside it, and then you do like your big like crossover events. Like that would be everyone would go see that. I don't know.
Ian McKellen, he was signed on for a Brotherhood movie.
Yeah, he's not gonna live that long. So.
Well, I know, but I'm talking back in the day during like the original trilogy. He revealed, I think in an interview, he was signed on for a Brotherhood of Evil Mutants standalone movie.
Oh, okay. Well, they should have done that. Or they should do that still.
So, well, because the Fox property is done, so...
Yeah.
I used to get...
Still, number one villain. Like, Mike's the only one that answered.
I'm always
we're talking all comics, not like
Marvel
movie.
or DC, whatever. Just any guy that's a villain. Just curious to see what your answers are. Because we always talk about the good guys. And you guys are all about the bad guys winning. So let's see. Let's see what you guys think. And I'll throw this one out to you. I've always gotten to these arguments with people about Magneto, certain comic book people about Magneto. And I've always felt that Magneto could beat Apocalypse one-on-one in a fight, but people always disagree with me.
I don't know. I don't think those power levels add up.
You know, it's not over 9,000.
Yeah, unless he's made of metal. I don't know.
His name's literally Apocalypse.
Magneto can literally use the entire planet.
That's made of metal, and Apocalypse can like just fucking say, nah, I don't think so.
This is when you go, Noah, who would win?
I'm buying time for you guys to come up with an answer, just so you know.
Yeah, but I want Noah to answer that question while we think about it.
I say I always think of Batman for some reason. I can think of others, but
they have the best villain. Hush. Yeah, okay.
Hush was probably... That's what turned me more... I was already a Batman fan, but that's what turned me into... I got to collect all these issues. I had never collected, like, consecutive, like, every single issue that came out. Like, every week it came out, or every month or whatever, I was there at the comic book shop to get the next issue. Like, Hush was the greatest villain we've ever seen. Some people would argue that and say that the Batman Who Laughs right now is the greatest villain.
Yeah.
But Hush messed with him on a psychological level because he knew all these things. Jason Todd, he knew about Talia Ghul, he knew about Roz, he knew about Tim, Dick, all these characters in his life. And he messed with them on such a huge level. Like, there were so many villains brought into that story arc because of Hush that it was probably the grandest story arc of Batman. That's just me.
I enjoyed Hush 100% just because of Jim Lee. I think he draws an amazing...
Oh, yeah, Batman. No, Jim Lee was good. And then Loeb's writing, I think it was Loeb, right?
It's been a while since I've...
Yeah, it's Loeb.
I think it was Loeb.
Jeff Loeb.
Yeah, Loeb's writing was spectacular. Oh my god. It still holds up. It's still great.
Mm-hmm.
So
it was the first Batman that I read was Hush.
I mean, I'd read other Batman, but I'd read like a volume here of issue there. There was never a story arc of Batman where I was like, I really need to read this. And like all of it. And that was the one that turned me into a hardcore fan.
What is it? Batman Rip or something? What's the plot line where they say the magic word and then they like mess Batman up on meth or something?
That was during R.I.P.
Yeah, is that what that is?
Yeah, there was like it was this weird costumed Batman. I mean, it was still Bruce.
Yeah. He's just all messed up.
He was like brainwashed or something. Yeah.
Man,
that was written by Morrison, I want to say.
Yeah, I think it was. Actually.
And that was good stuff. That was good.
So, favorite villain. I should have said Owlman, now that I think about it. But anyways.
Owlman?
Magneto's way better.
Jason? I'm going to save my choice for last. I know
I'll just say Ozymandias. Does that count? I know he's from the Watch. He's the bad guy in Watchmen.
God damn it! God fucking damn it!
Did I
Adam's
take
like the one guy I had.
I didn't forget about him. Because Ozymandias is playing as arguably the
I didn't
best,
forget.
You know,
he was my choice,
and he's not so comic book villainy. He's what's the famous line? So I'm not a comic book villain. If I was, I wouldn't have told you my master plan. I did it like 30 minutes ago. Yeah. And then arguably, he convinces Dr. Manhattan that you convinced God basically that you're right. Like actually, the sacrifice, we can't just waste the sacrifice now. So, I don't know. I kind of like him. He's a layered villain. So
I agree with Jason. Ozymandias is by far, I think, he's top tier. Like you cannot.
Dr. Hurt.
You cannot have a more complex, relatable, logical villain that you hate what occurs, but it's hard to argue with his logic. And I think that's also the same reason why people sort of relate to Thanos.
Yeah. He's just like a human Thanos, basically.
Okay, since we were talking favorites, favorite comic book movie in general, all time. DC, Marvel, Vertigo, whatever you want. It's got to be comic book related, but comic book. I'll start it off. Rocketeer.
I thought we already did that, or was that just DC?
No, that was DC.
We were doing like Marvel,
Marvel.
DC. He's saying overall, because overall, it might be like Watchmen, and I do have a.
I mean, if you wanted to, you could throw in Meteorite Man.
Yeah, I have a huge soft spot for Blade, also. So.
All right.
The movie that saved comic books.
Obviously the original Blade, because
the movie that saved techno music. So.
Did it? Because I'm pretty sure.
I mean that opening scene
that
of Blade is hard to fucking beat.
Yeah. Hey Tron, look at Tron. So
if you want
well,
we discussed I think that last week actually, and I'm not sure we all agreed on that either.
Do you not remember when we were like in high school and that opening for X-Men where I think it's X-Men 2 where Nightcrawler is going through
that's number 2.
That was a game changer.
That was the most. That really was, yeah.
Was that which one?
But X-Men was the game changer for just the comic book movies. It was X-Men that started it, and then Tobey Maguire's movie kind of continued it. But X-Men was. Some people would be like, "Oh, there's Blade." All this. I was like, "Yeah, but those didn't kickstart the superhero genre."
No, you're correct. Like the X-Men films and the Spider-Man Tobey Maguire's definitely showed that you can tell serious stories in these universes on the big screen. Like,
which I think William Dafoe should play Joker. Like
play who?
William Dafoe.
Maybe like an old
Joker.
Joker.
No, give me a goddamn.
He would be a good Joker.
Give me a goddamn fucking Batman Beyond film. With William Dafoe as the Joker, bring in. I'm not sure.
I told you my Bruce Wayne.
What was
his?
Yeah, of course.
My Bruce Wayne is Clint Eastwood.
Old Bruce Wayne? Damn, that's an old Bruce Wayne, man.
Yeah,
but that's the point.
He's supposed to be feeble and like
Can't you bring in who's supposed to play old Bruce Wayne? Isn't someone slated?
Michael Keaton.
Yeah, I think Michael Keaton's a great choice. Shit, you can
Michael Keaton's a good choice. I still think you'd have to age him up a little bit because he's still not old enough.
Have you seen
just
Michael Keaton lately?
Yeah, just don't put makeup on him.
When he was the Vulture, he was looking pretty old there.
Yeah, but that's not Batman Beyond old Bruce Wayne. Like Batman Beyond old Bruce Wayne is old.
That's why I go with Michael Keaton. Not Michael Keaton, Clint Eastwood.
But
that's how I go.
I would argue that like old Bruce Wayne from Batman Beyond still has. I don't know that like realistically anyone could portray him because he still has like physicality while being like 80 or something, you know, like he could still like whoop my ass in an alleyway like easily. I agree with that.
Yes, but he didn't have a lot of ass whooping scenes in the cartoon.
True.
To begin with, he was mainly behind the computer. He was mainly Jarvis from the MCU.
But
he was tech specialist. He was advisor. He was trainer.
I hate to say it, I really would like the continuality of like someone who has played Batman before. Like you'll have that connection. Where like Clint Eastwood might be a great cast, like a choice, but he's just not. And he's almost like too big of a name. You know what I mean? It would be like bringing in like Tom Cruise or something. You're like, wait, Clint Eastwood's gonna play Batman? Like all I'd see is Clint Eastwood.
My question is, do you do a Joseph Gordon-Levitt from the Dark Knight trilogy, even though you're gonna use
you're gonna have to write him up real bad.
No, I was just saying, like, just because of the way that it ended, even though you're gonna be using a Michael Keaton, like, does that work, or do you literally just bring in a new character, new actor to play the Batman Beyond role?
I will say that Joseph Gordon-Levitt is free these days. I'm sure he would take the role.
See, I'm the one that's the kind of my eyes roll with the Joseph Gordon-Levitt talk. Like he was good, yes, but I stick with what Christopher Nolan says. He was never meant to be. He was meant just for that movie. He was never meant to be anything more, and he ended it just how he always wanted it to end, just like that. He was never meant to be like. People over exaggerated his role.
He was never meant to be Robin.
His name was Robin.
So like he was great. I'm not arguing that, but his role has been over exaggerated way too much over the years. So that's just me.
All right.
Fair enough.
So
I would be tempted. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Adam.
No, feel free.
Oh no, I was gonna say, as far as any kind of comic book movies, maybe Logan, just because it was
okay.
It was such a
Logan was a great film. Yeah. I love the hell out of Logan.
Yeah, I'm not even that great of a Marvel. I'm not even that big of a Marvel fan. But that movie had a lot to it. Maybe it's just because Patrick Stewart's looking older and older these days.
Are you kidding me? Patrick Stewart still looks better than half of the older people out there.
That's just good.
I mean,
let's see.
It's 80. Because of that Earl Grey. He's 80 and he looks 60.
Yeah, but it's also because Mike is dick hard for Picard right now.
Yeah,
exactly. That's the only reason.
You're not wrong.
Exactly.
I mean, I stick to the meme. Lindsay Lohan looks older than Patrick Stewart. So
Lindsay Lohan looks older than everyone.
But we can get into semantics of the sexes because the big thing is a woman in society isn't seen as like aging gracefully, where a man. He's distinguished. He has his gray. Yeah.
He looks wise now.
No, there's some that age pretty gracefully. Like I think Julia Roberts ages pretty gracefully.
Sure. All right.
Tulsi Gabbard with the gray hair.
Who is Tulsi Gabbard?
What's her name from Red?
Red? I kind of agree with you there, actually.
Yeah, I think she ages really well. So.
Which one? Helen Mirren or
Helen Mirren?
The chick from Weeds?
No, Helen Mirren.
She looks good, and the chick from Weeds actually looks good. She's like a why not? She has a why not look to her.
Oh, she's
why? We're killing this. We're not having. Let's go down the list and review Hollywood actresses.
Well, sorry. All right. My bad. Red's a good movie, though. I like that one.
Did you guys see? There's a lot of feathers being ruffled right now over Ellen DeGeneres. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't understand any of that, other than I guess she's a big meanie on set. Or not on set, just behind the camera.
She's an asshole as a boss. Is essentially the.
Apparently, she's very verbally abusive.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. But
how many other bosses are assholes kind of thing?
And let me say this is I'll just get like purely logical here. Okay, so you're gonna riot, what did we say earlier? Bite the hand that feeds. I'm not saying it might not be warranted, but okay, so you're all gonna complain about your boss and then you're gonna lose your show and you're all not gonna have chops. So I just don't understand what your end game is.
I mean, how many
other than to get this woman canceled?
How many people are not gonna believe it though? They'll be like, look at her dance. She can't be that kind of person. Like,
no, I could believe it.
Yeah, the problem that, and what's I think why it's such a big story is the dichotomy between her character, as opposed to what people are saying she's like as a boss. So it makes it a big story, but at the same time, you're gonna have bosses that are dicks.
Yeah.
And unless they're doing something that's like unless she's sexually harassing her employees or like
like you say, being physically abusive.
Being physically abusive, like yeah, you can complain publicly, but best case scenario, you get her fired and you lose your own job in the process.
Yeah. And I see what you're saying about Ellen's like on-stage persona. It would be like an Oprah or like a Wayne Brady. If you heard that like these people were like complete assholes to the people that worked around him, it's just such a disconnect from what you're used to seeing. Mm-hmm. It's almost hard to imagine. And don't get me wrong, I could imagine Ellen being really mean but again, unless her verbal abuse is like, hey, you're fired, get off my set because you didn't like tie my shoe or something. If you know, I mean, just roll with the punches. I know that's like maybe messed up to say, but we just don't have any like footage of what, you know, like what degree. And I haven't looked into this a
context.
lot. So.
There's no context for the accusations that are coming out.
Maybe there are transcripts that I'm not aware of.
There are many actors that have said how well known it is that the way she acts towards the people she works with. Like, it is not something that is new to the Hollywood arena.
I just want to say for the record that I'm not defending.
But it's new that it's becoming public.
Correct.
A boss that's a dick.
I think it was Brad Garrett that was one of the main people that came out and said, yeah, she's absolutely abusive, and this is well known within the League of Celebrities. Which I want to change my answer. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I don't know if that's a comic book movie or not.
No, it is.
It is?
It is.
I really enjoyed that, maybe because it was Sean Connery's last movie. I'm sorry, back to subject.
Yeah, considering not everyone even answered the question.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
It is. I like it. It's good. Wow. So wow, that was really breaking out the old movies, man. I forgot about that. So,
I still think I would fall back on, even if they are like I would say easy choices. It would have to be best comic book movie is it's either Dark Knight or Watchmen. Like, it's one of those two.
Jason?
At least for me. Yeah, I think you're the only one that never answered the question, like, because we sort of pivoted and got off topic of what's your favorite comic book film.
Probably probably the most rewatchable to me is. Damn it! I don't know. You got me because I was gonna say Watchmen, but Batman Begins. Honestly, it's probably Batman Begins. I think it's Batman.
What scene is it that does it? Like, I'm a Batman fan.
It's just so fun. It's like a fun movie.
What does it for you,
Let's see the whole first 30 minutes.
Why do you grab the KY
probably the origin, right?
Yeah, exactly. The whole training with Bruce leading up to like when he first like tries to do like a Batman thing back in Gotham. I love the beginning of that movie, like all the training and everything.
Where they filmed it.
Yeah, and Liam Neeson.
Everything, yeah. I'll give you that.
I just like Liam Neeson's like teachings, and even when he comes back, like the problems that he faces. And I think origin stories are just really captivating, and it's still like fun but serious. I don't know. I know it's not like the best movie ever made, but it really, I like Blade. Okay, so. That movie is not
Blade
that
is awesome.
You clearly like Blade.
Blade is great.
Yeah, I don't know. I really like Batman Begins.
It was cool for the fact that all the other Batman movies before it were so campy that this one was so earnest. You were hearing ice cracking. Yeah. You were hearing
campy's a good word.
You were hearing ice cracking like in the distance as they're fighting on this glacier. You know what I mean? That's the kind of stuff we're like, oh wow, they really went to that place and filmed it, you know what I mean? As opposed to everything being on set. I think they did it in London.
Or they have really good audio engineers.
The will to act and everything. Yeah. It was, and Liam Neeson's Ra's al Ghul, like, it was this villain that arguably his plot wasn't wrong. Yeah, and his plot isn't terrible. What, they sacked Rome, Constantinople, blah, blah, blah. Like they've been doing this forever.
That's another Thanos whatever type character.
Historically, it works. You know, like they have a good track record. So, and what you think that you got to put on like a bat suit and save Gotham? Like, all right, how did that work out when Bane showed up, homie? Like, but you could argue that Bane wasn't created by Gotham anyway, so whatever.
And then, of course, we had the best assistant to a superhero, hands down, with Michael Caine and Batman.
Oh, absolutely. Why do we fall down, or what does it say? Why
never
do we
pick ourselves back up.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're just like, oh my God, I love you, Alf. Like,
Alfred, that's like life. Yeah, that's the best. Yeah,
the size of a tangerine.
But see, that's Dark Knight. You got it all. Yeah.
There's going to be in 20 years, there's going to be another at least 5 or so Batman films, and you're going to have the conversation: who was the best Alfred?
Michael Caine.
And you're still going to have to say Michael Caine. I don't see anyone topping that performance. Just it's difficult to argue that anyone's ever going to top Heath Ledger, even though you can say this person did a great job and it was different, but the best is still Heath Ledger. Like that, I feel like that's and maybe people want to argue with that, but Michael Caine, regardless, is going to be the best Alfred of all time, hands down. I don't see anyone ever coming close.
Yeah, like Jeremy Irons. I really like Jeremy Irons as an actor, but as Alfred, I was like, he's like too suave.
He's got the voice. I'll say he
has the voice, but he could literally be like a Batman or something.
Yeah.
We barely got Jeremy Irons. Yeah. We barely got him. He wasn't even in much.
I mean, but I will say this: the way that they're portraying Alfred now, he's supposed to be this ex-MIA or M5. You know,
that's where Jeremy Irons fits.
Sure, yeah, tougher Alfred, but.
I gotta ask, speaking of Alfred, have any of you guys watched that Pennyworth TV show?
That came out? I didn't even know that came out.
Yeah, it was on this channel called Epix. It got renewed for a second season. So good. It was set before he becomes the butler of Bruce Wayne. And it was shortly after his time in the war. Mm-hmm. And it's so good. It's a period piece. It is amazing. It was called Pennyworth. You guys should check it out. It was amazing.
Okay.
Hopefully it's better than God
seeing this.
I mean,
it was really good.
Except for the fact that you have to pay for Epix, unless you want to take other routes which are available, which I will not necessarily condone nor deny.
Real subtle.
With the exception of that, it sounds like an interesting show that I would be entertained.
Well, I actually paid for it. I got it on my Vudu for $5 a couple of months back. So,
well, there's something I really wanted to talk about. We had kind of talked about it a little bit earlier. You guys know that the biker rally Sturgis is happening.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh God, I feel like this should be a Patreon conversation, but go right ahead.
Yeah, we gotta kill it. It's a comic.
I almost want to shut this conversation down and be like, we'll cover it in the Patreon, but please.
Yeah, it's here we go. Let's get political.
I mean, well, no, politics has nothing to do with it.
I guess you're right.
Actually, maybe it does have something to do with it. A lot of these people are not wearing masks. They're not social distancing. Are our social liberties causing us to have a longer recovery period than other countries?
This is not political whatsoever.
Not at all.
I'm not talking about what your political views are. I mean, do you think that our self-entitled
I'll pull a Dr. Fauci. Regardless of
what the hell,
Adam's masking up.
Yeah, look, regardless of what you're, like you said, you don't politicize it. This is the science, though. Yeah.
Yeah,
if
that's what I mean.
People are gathered in large groups without a mask. Yes, you are X amount times more likely to spread the novel coronavirus. So that's true. So yes, you have a giant 250,000 gathering, people not wearing masks and partying and stuff. I mean, yeah, I mean,
or doing coronavirus parties.
Yeah,
so that's the stupidest thing I've heard of.
Yeah, I mean, and who's gonna really pay out for something like that? That's their whole thing. Is whoever gets tested and gets positive first gets money.
Oh, you're talking? I have yet to hear about. I'm sure that happened. Don't get me wrong, kids are stupid, but I couldn't tell you like a real life instance of it happening. So,
what, the coronavirus parties?
Yeah.
I thought that happened around here.
I don't know. Well, they deserve what they get. I guess I'll say that.
So, like they all hung out with a positive tested coronavirus person, and they're all like, "Oh, whoever gets it." So yeah.
I mean, what are we supposed to say about that? You know what I mean? Like that. Yeah, I guess. Hey,
you're an idiot.
Yeah, you live by the choices you make. So that's okay. You know, I hope you're fine. I hope it all turned out okay. You caught a virus.
You're gonna die. Bye.
That kills people, and you could very well be one that dies, or maybe you'll turn out fine. You know.
My biggest issue is I don't care about them living or dying, but if that kind of mindset allows for a greater spread that leads to my parents dying, you better believe I'm going to be furious.
Yeah.
So to go back to what Mike was saying, civil liberties, whatever. I mean, we can argue semantics, but there's clearly a problem in the nation of the great United States of America that, just look at our numbers. Like, clearly people think that not wearing a cloth on their face is more important than stopping the most contagious virus in the last decade or century, actually. Decade, yeah, the last century. So, and I'm sure we're gonna have repercussions of that down the road. Absolutely. I'll be interested to see 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, what the repercussions of our choices today. I'm not just talking about like deaths. I'm talking about like economic, political factors of how we're going to be viewed down the road from our inaction on this issue.
Especially whenever you have time to like accumulate all the data.
Oh yeah, much better.
Because it's gonna take years to like accurately, because everyone wants to argue right now. That's the main argument is they want to fight over semantics when it comes to data.
What just happened? Did they forego taxes? Are they not taking taxes out of paychecks right now? I swear I read that somewhere.
This is tax-free weekend.
I didn't read anything
I know
about
that. He did
I didn't read anything about that, but Trump did sign some executive actions which, while beneficial, are the constitutionality of them.
Unemployment benefits, defers payroll taxes.
Yep,
that's
payroll.
what
I heard that they're doing a second stimulus.
They're still working on it. It needs to get passed, but
no, he signed one today that said
it's going to be $400.
He basically forced one through, and they're saying you can't do that. And I'm honestly, even though it will be beneficial to individuals, I'm not sure that he can do that legally. That's for this. Probably in the end, it's going to be for the Supreme Court to decide. Essentially, it's going to be $400 instead of $600, but they're demanding that the states pay 25%.
Yeah, the states will pay $100 on top of the federal government paying.
And a lot of the states are going to say no, so it's going to end up being $300 instead of $600 extra each week.
I mean, in a month, that's $1,200 on top of whatever your normal unemployment benefits are.
It's not... is it legal? Like, yes, it's good for people that need it, but is it like, does the president have the power to do that?
Do you think we need a moratorium on masks, as in someone basically, like, you know, whoever has the authority to do so, mandate that masks are required to leave your house? Like, the countries that have mandated this are not seeing spikes like we are. There are fines associated. I think in France it's like a $45 fine. If you go to the UAE, where they literally have gold dispensers, it's $55,000 if you get caught without a mask on.
See, I don't know. I feel not to that extreme, but I know in some areas in the States, like, I know like Houston, they're actually like cracking down on, like, I don't know if it's still in effect, but I know it was, where like if you were even outside in like the park or whatever, if there was more than like 10 people in a crowd or something, I don't know, there was a certain number, like they would ask you, police officers would come and ask you to split up or like wear a mask or something. Like, it was required. And that was in Houston.
And I think people are just sick of it.
Asking is not requiring.
I think the biggest problem is people are just sick of it. They don't want to hear about social distancing. They don't want to be told that they have to wear a mask. You know, it's just the time. It's just the fact that we're in a marathon. I feel like it's starting to wear people down.
That's why we can never solve global war.
See, the masks don't even bother me that much. I mean, like, the whole thing doesn't bother me so much. I kind of do it out of common courtesy, and I don't see why more people don't do that out of common courtesy.
Exactly. And you can look at, like I say, almost all the Asian nations. And they just wear it. If they're sick, they just wear it. So they don't get other people sick. As you said, it's a thing of courtesy. I don't know if it's like a macho thing, like it's seen as like a weakness or something. I don't know what the psychology of someone not wanting to wear a mask.
I have a theory.
Oh, I've seen more people that don't wear a mask that cite, like, I have had people come to the library for our curbside that will come up to our door rather than stay in their vehicle, and we're like, you need to go back in your vehicle. They're like, I can do whatever I want, America. And I've had like 6 or 7 people, as one of their excuses, they've said in this exact tone, America.
Wow.
America.
Wow.
I have a theory, and
it certainly is the country we live in.
It's a combination of that's a very like American mindset of just this, like, I'm an American, I have the right to do whatever I want. And it was also the rolling out of the process of the CDC saying, like, not everyone needs masks. And they did that, or they said that as a strategy to try to reserve them for medical staff.
You're talking about early on, yeah.
Yes,
it's very obvious to anyone.
It's hard to backtrack that and explain that to people now.
No, I don't believe. I think that if you're not a moron,
they think they were lied to, and now they keep. I'm seeing a lot of people. I'm seeing a lot of people.
Way too much credit.
Let me finish. No, I'm saying. No, I'm giving them no credit. Is my point.
Right.
I'm seeing a lot of people make the argument, oh, you're ignorant enough to believe that the mask is going to protect you, because they didn't pay attention enough, or they stopped listening somewhere in between, where they said the mask isn't for you, it's for the person in front of you. Like, that's why you see people with masks and they pull it down so they can breathe through their nose, because they're willing to risk their health in their mind. So it's fine that they can breathe through their nose. But the fact that they pull it down now makes it useless to the person that they're speaking to. So it was this combination of events, and it's also this mindset that, oh, I'm an American, and in America we have the freedom to do whatever we want. And I'm a strong believer in like a lot of being like socially free and stuff, but then there's also, you still got to combine that with logic, and they're removing logic from the equation, and it frustrates me to no end.
Captain Constitution has spoken.
That's my rant. That's my rant.
I mean, I'll even give you guys an example. Not too long ago, Hershey Park, they would not allow a lady and her son to come in because her son did not have a mask on. Now, her son was autistic, and whenever he puts anything on his face or something like that, or even
like
a hat,
trips out or something.
Yeah, like it freaks him out, and he, and they didn't let him in. They didn't let either one of them in. Now my heart goes out to those people. I understand how they would feel like they've been treated unfairly. But I mean, it's not their, like, they were angry about the whole situation. Like, why can't you make an exception and stuff like that type mentality? They even went to the news about it and made a big deal. But isn't making exceptions like that dangerous? Because where do you draw the line then?
Oh, I don't know. You can get into some.
I know. That's where it gets complicated, because your heart goes out and you want to say that there should be exceptions in situations like that. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, if you create that exception, that people are going to abuse it. So it becomes this, what do you do?
Jason just looks like he's ready to unleash himself.
Because he knows.
I'm coming at it from a different angle. Because he's right. That's like a can of worms I can open, and I'm just not going to.
Do it.
Because I was like, this is the same people. This is the same argument that people use against like transgender bathrooms and unisex bathrooms and shit. It's the same argument. So
why can't we just have a bathroom for everyone?
You're right.
Why does it matter?
I personally don't understand why we don't. But that's a whole nother fucking conversation.
Because you can't trust your populace to wear a mask on its face. You're going to trust them to go into a restroom together and not act out? Like, come on, man.
I'm not trying to sleep with a woman who's taking a shit. That's all I'm going to say.
You're not right now, but get toasted at a bar. And sure, you might not be the guy that tries, but I know some guys that'll try, so...
I mean,
I don't know.
What about people that go into grocery stores and stuff like that refuse to wear a mask? They'll say like, oh, well, it's medical reasons. It might seem cruel, but I would argue they can have curbside delivery. They can come and pick. They don't have to.
They do have curbside delivery.
Most, if not all, grocery stores have curbside delivery.
Yeah, Walmart started it. H-E-B has been doing it. And I think any big chain offers it.
So it might seem cold-hearted, but...
I was doing it before the pandemic.
Adam is the trendsetter. He saw this coming way ahead of time. We all got.
No, I'm just saying, like, it was a convenience that I took advantage of before
Yeah.
Adam's like, I don't have time for these.
As a childless adult, going to the grocery store isn't that big of a deal. But if I had a kid, yeah, I don't know about that.
So yeah, it might seem a little cold-hearted, but I honestly feel like if you can't wear a mask, then you shouldn't be going in there in the first place.
Yep,
I agree.
What did we talk about earlier? I mean, you already have clothing policies: no shirt, no shoes, no service. I mean, people aren't getting up in arms because they have to wear shoes, they have to keep a shirt on, but you're getting up in arms because you have to just wear an additional piece of clothing, literally to protect others from yourself. So, yeah.
Jason, are you still seeing people try and cover their nose with their shirt? Is that still...
Yeah, every day.
What, the vampire sneeze?
No, people do this. They'll put their shirt up. They'll try to walk into your establishments like that. Like, they don't have a mask because they know they just have to get to their seat. And then they technically don't have to wear a mask.
Yeah, because they're technically following the law.
And dude, they'll make such a fuss about it, man. It's insane. You would have thought that you're asking these people to like strip down or something. Like it's just crazy, you know. Oh, I don't have one. Oh, have you been outside in the last 4 months? Like, you know that they're literally sold everywhere. Like,
also, it's a common courtesy to establishments because, all right. Tell me if I'm wrong, but is this still a thing that in some establishments, it's still required in Texas at least, right? Where you have to wear a mask in establishments?
You have to wear it to enter. I think really the only time that you can sit or take it off is if you're dining and sitting down. Like once you're seated, you can take it off.
But you're drinking.
But I'm talking like going into like market basket.
Sitting.
Yes.
Is there still the fine? Yes. Because I thought there was that was the case in the beginning where
there is,
per
but
individual, if it's like 1,000 per individual. So if like five people went into like HEB without a mask and they were reported, not the individuals, but the
business
HEB, they get fined per individual, so they have to pay $5,000.
Yes, you're correct.
The problem
is that still a thing?
Yes, as far as I'm
that's
aware.
The thing. I mean, like, that's a risk. I mean, it's common courtesy to the people around you, and also the establishments. I mean, do you want to go to get a place that you frequent a lot? Do you want to get them to pay bukus of money that they could save? It's just stupid.
Well, and what did me and Mike discuss to that same argument, Noah? We discussed how, you know, okay, so you don't want to wear a mask into a business because it gives you like mental distress, or maybe you have asthma or something. But if you're gonna play that, and I'm gonna use the buzzword, if you're gonna play that snowflake mentality, okay, well think about the anxiety you're giving everyone else in HEB when you're the only guy not wearing a mask walking around. When you're like, ooh, like that guy's not wearing a mask. Like, but you can't be bothered with it because you have anxiety.
I would rather call it the Karen card, but
sure,
the asthma thing is bullshit because, like, at the comic book shop I go to, that's the girl that works there. She has severe asthma, and she still wears a mask. She works all day, a full like 6 or 8 hours, and she works all day, and she wears a mask. So I mean, like, if someone has severe asthma like her can wear it, why can't everybody? I mean, it's just the asthma thing is bullshit because I know somebody that has severe asthma and she still manages to wear a mask. So I'm like, fuck those losers.
Don't get me wrong, it's tough to wear a mask out on like in this.
Sorry.
When I'm working like hustling, like busting my ass, sweating my ass off. Like, yeah, it is not fun to wear a mask. I'll tell you that right now. Like, it definitely, like, especially having a beard, like, my beard gets fucking irritated when I'm sweating and I'm, like, breathing into it.
My face gets itchy.
Oh, yeah, which I'm glad I have the mask on to cover, like, I guess, redness or itching. But it just is what it is. Like, you just do it. it sucks, but it's just part of the gig. You got to put up with it.
Oh man. Well, I think those are very fair points. It was such a fair point that Noah's like, I'm out. And I'm
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah.
I'm back.
But yeah, I mean, I like, again, we go to these other countries that all have big social liberties, like, you know, but they don't have the same issues that we do. You know, we have a problem with we have a problem with cohesiveness over an article of clothing. Like, I wouldn't even consider it a protective measure.
I don't even know that it's like an article of clothing. Like, I wonder if everyone had to wear a hat, if the same backlash would be equivalent.
Absolutely.
You think so?
Absolutely.
And honestly,
I would have a problem.
Yeah, I would be madder about wearing a fucking hat than a face mask. Yeah, definitely.
I don't wear hats. Like, I don't like putting things over my
head.
Yeah,
it definitely, like, you want to talk about, like, mental distress or whatever. Like, yeah, for some reason wearing a hat, and I've gotten used to wearing them, but it like fucks with my, I don't know, like, depth perception or something.
It's just because you have this, you can feel.
Yeah, it's like a constriction. Like,
I look ridiculous with the hat on. I look like Diddy Kong with like a sun visor on when I put a hat on. It looks so bad. So that's why I don't wear hat. I would have a major issue with that. So that's a very fair point.
The only time I wear a hat is if I don't do my hair, because I'm very vain about my hair. But I hate wearing a hat. Like, even if I go to a gas station and my hair's not done, I can't have other people seeing my hair. So I'm like, I have to wear a hat. But other than that, I hate the feeling of a hat.
Yeah, I don't enjoy the feeling at all.
Well, with a few minutes left, I feel like it's only fair, or Adam's going to have a stroke, to give him an opportunity to talk about what he's been dying to talk about all week. It is the Kim Kardashian of video game news.
My god.
Take it away.
It is the return!
No, you're too loud. Watch your levels.
The return, what?
It is the return of Dr. Disrespect.
6'8". I didn't know he was 6'8".
I saw that video.
6'8". He's at the top of the mountain and he hasn't even gotten
there yet. Yeah, he's halfway up.
Why do I do this to myself?
Is that some Twitch stuff or something?
It's a really popular
He's in shape
stream.
and he doesn't even work out.
I don't know that he's actually in shape. He's just 6'8".
No, the whole point is that he makes these lines that are dramatic, and then there's like, by the way, that's not actually true.
What's his catch lane? Catch lane. Oh God, I can't talk to you. What's his catchphrase? It's like these 3 words or something.
This is garbage.
Speed, dedication, and momentum or something. I forget what he always says. Whatever. Who cares?
I was honestly never like a huge fan until he got canceled.
What a great reason.
And then I started watching his videos and shit.
Who is this and why did he get canceled?
He looks like a Mega Man villain.
Mega Man.
I have to do it. The really short version, Noah, is that he is a Twitch streamer who played a lot of first-person shooters, and he was essentially he played a character.
Yeah, he's a persona.
He had a fake like mullet wig, and he originally had a fake mustache, which eventually became a real mustache, and he wears glasses and like this red bulletproof vest looking thing, and he talks in this voice, and he talks a lot of shit, and for some reason, I mean, he was huge, like tons of followers, like $1 million contracts, and
so what, he was kind of like that ninja dude.
Yeah. To a lesser equivalent.
To a lesser equivalent.
Yeah.
But he was in that same tier of like they're the best of the best, like top tier. And then for some reason, the website banned him. And then it still hasn't come out from him or them why it happened. So everyone's always been speculating. It's been about a month now, but he just recently released about a 20-minute video where he sort of airs grievances while also vaguely explaining the fact that there are lawyers involved in the background.
Yes, 10-year-olds. 10-year-olds.
It was basically his announcement video that, like, I'm back, bitches.
Yes. 10-year-olds across the world, rejoice. Your hero has returned.
Is that so? To me, I'm gonna just say this.
I'm 10 times 3 plus 2, Mike. So
if this was a marketing ploy by him and Twitch, it's probably the smartest thing he's ever done, because
he flat out said though that he was not going back to Twitch. Like he never will go back to Twitch.
Absolutely nothing about Dr. Disrespect other than I knew the name because he streamed in a bathroom at some convention that he wasn't allowed to stream at. That's the only thing I knew about him. And now I know a lot about him. And only because of his drama with Twitch or whatever. Which we still don't know why he got canceled. We don't know why he got kicked off the platform, right? That is not known.
Yeah, we don't know.
It is the internet version.
He clearly implies in the video that there are lawyers involved.
Clearly. I mean, there's money involved, so...
It is the internet version of reality TV, which...
That's equivalent. That's an equivalent comparison.
Which that's something we don't have enough of. I mean, like, I've never watched The Jersey Shore.
But it's with gamers.
Ooh, that changes things.
I mean, that makes it more interesting for me. Like, I could give 2 shits about the fucking Kardashians, but I'll watch this kind of drama all day long.
I'd say it's hypocritical.
But it's just because it's drama that relates to you and your hobbies. Women and some men enjoy the Kardashian television show because it reminds them of their own girlfriend drama in their life or drama that they wish they had. It's relatable to them. Where when I watch a Kardashian thing, I don't know what makeup is. I don't know what being wealthy is like. I don't know what being a bitch is like either. So,
did you call the Kardashians bitches?
I might have.
Yes, they are.
But
this is the best podcast we've ever done.
I may have implied that the Kardashians are bitches. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm not. Maybe they're not. They don't live in a realm of reality that I do. So none of their drama is interesting to me. But yes, to Mike's credit, Dr. Disrespect this is your Kardashian Twitch drama. It's. I wouldn't call Dr. Disrespect a bitch, but he could definitely be called an asshole under many. He's like stuck up. He's full of himself. That's his whole persona.
That's a character.
It's a character, but you think the Kardashians aren't putting on like 50-50? You know, I'm sure they play it up, but I'm sure they're pretty drama filled in their real life, or else they wouldn't have made a show about them. But yeah, this is your Kardashian Twitch drama. I guess you eat that shit up. But me and Mike, I think we've discussed, like, we like smaller streams. I like watching, like, a guy try to, like, beat Super Mario 64 to death. You know, like, that's what I want to watch.
Yeah, you're a speedrunner, like,
not even a speedrunner. I want to watch competitive tournaments also. I'll tune in. I don't even like Dota. But when there's 1 million, 2 million people watching a big Dota tournament, a big league tournament, I'll tune in for the competitive nature of the event. It is like a sporting event. It's a lesser...
Isn't that thing that Bass Hunter sung about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dota.
Yeah.
I'll watch Street Fighter. I'll watch basically any game on a competitive level of competition because that's interesting to me. You're talking about people best of the best of their craft. Dr. Disrespect, though, isn't the best of his craft. He's not the most competitive streamer. He's just the loudest streamer, like...
I'd rather watch competitive Mario Kart, all right? Like
what did I watch last week?
Yeah, but Mike, you don't even like watching streamers.
What did I watch? I watched Competitive Farming Simulator. Okay.
There's only one streamer. There's only one streamer that you watch, Mike. It's not because you like to watch streamers. So don't fucking talk to me about like watching Twitch.
I am a Renaissance man. Okay. I
watch Retro Replays. Is that a streamer? It's with Nolan North playing the Uncharted games.
Does he stream it live and then put it on YouTube, or is it all edited?
I don't know. I don't know. But I've watched the recorded stuff.
Yeah.
But is that a streaming? I don't know, because he's never played the game.
It might very well be like.
Yeah, either way, it might be. Yeah. It's all about basically watching people play video games, and this is just a different. It was a different style, and there's a whole bunch of convolution and possibly legal back and forth behind it, so there's drama. But he dropped a video on YouTube that was like 20 minutes long about his dramatic return to try to finally clear the air after about a month of silence.
And guess what? We still don't know.
So Mike knew that I wanted to be like, get ready.
Yeah,
get ready.
I figure I'd set that one up for you. I thought you'd like that, Adam. But
I don't know. I care a lot about authenticity, and when your whole persona is based on not being like authentic, it's hard for me to latch on. I like Dr. Disrespect's character. He's grown on me, but I wouldn't like tune in.
I mean, I like both aspects. I mean, like one of my favorite streamers of all time was always going to be like freaking In Control. Like I loved watching him because he was funny and like just
he was authentic though.
He was authentic and funny at the same time. So I will always like, that's the kind of person I'm drawn to. And like Roots Cats and everyone around that sort of StarCraft orbit that drew me to Twitch. DJ Wheat, Emmy JP, like whatever.
I might be.
But I just.
Go ahead, Adam.
I just think that it's an interesting story to pay attention to, especially as far as gaming and the internet's concerned.
It's interesting as far as teenagers go that are paying attention. Like 13-year-olds, yeah. If I was 13, I'd probably be all about Dr. Disrespect or whatever his name is,
And Ninja and everyone else.
Yeah, but I'm not. But I will say,
it's the ladies. That's all he gets.
Even though I am definitely over the age limit for competitive StarCraft gaming, I'm calling my shot now. All right, look out, people, because you're gonna see Renrag in the top of the ladder leaderboard here soon enough.
Do you have a build order? Like, if I ask you what your build order was, could you tell me?
Adam?
Yes.
Like, do you know?
I watch him on Discord. I watch his build.
I understand that he has a build order in his head, but could he tell you like?
Oh, you mean the numbers?
14. Yeah, 14 SCVs racks, 17 racks, like 21 engineering bay. If you can't tell me that, then you just...
A marginal error of maybe 1 or 2 units SCVs.
Yeah, you're never getting... I need to see you get plat, man.
I'm already platinum.
He's already
platinum. Oh shit, I don't know.
He's trying to get to diamond, like he's
You're
there.
Platinum? I could be platinum then, man.
Wow, shots fired.
I need to play.
Trust me. I was watching Mike being like, God, I used to be good, now I'm so bad.
It's true. There's definitely moments of that. But yeah, I gotta say, it's been great having you on, Noah. I think we definitely need to do this again.
I had a blast. I would gladly come back anytime.
Yeah, we'll have you. You should come back when Snyder Cut drops, and we can literally just probably do a whole podcast about how shitty that movie is.
Absolutely when the Snyder Cut drops, we've talked about it so freaking much. I'm going to require that we do one solid episode of just Snyder Cut compared to the original. What do you think?
You know what would be
Why
interesting?
Is it
I don't know if you guys ever
is?
done this, but we watch it, but then we do a live watch,
like a live viewing.
Together.
I would have to
commentary.
Yeah,
basically.
We could do that. Yeah, because I would definitely have to watch it first and then go back.
Yeah, obviously watch it first.
I'd be like, shut up, shut up.
Yeah, we don't want to tarnish
I have to
the first
listen to
viewing.
the CG on the screen.
But the second viewing, watch it a live stream.
Yeah, and then do fun. a Kevin Smith style 3, 2, 1.
Because I'm gonna need backup, Noah. Because
you can't stream it, obviously.
These guys, I already know what they're gonna say.
Well, I mean, we would say okay, we're at this mark, and this is what we're talking about.
It would be
if you're
3, 2.
Exactly. Yeah. So.
I love that idea. I think that would be a lot of fun, honestly.
Yeah, I think it is a really good idea.
Patreon time.
Hey, before you end it, I thought we didn't talk about the upcoming Batman or Suicide Squad game. Wanted to hear you guys' thoughts on that.
Oh, wait. Is the Batman game that he's talking about the Suicide Squad one by the Rocksteady games, the people that do the
Justice League versus Suicide Squad video game.
What isn't that the rumored title?
Well, I mean, you see a Superman on the cover, on the poster, because you see his curl, but then right on his head is the
veins.
Mark from Deadshot.
Yeah, but he has veins and he has red eyes. I've heard rumors.
Is that all the information?
Yeah, they've just released the poster and that they're working on a Suicide Squad Justice League game. Some people think that's
supposedly.
I've read that that's Bizarro Superman. I don't know that there's any truth in that. That's what some people are thinking.
Doesn't look
so.
like
But supposedly that more is going to be revealed at DC Fandom.
Yeah, on the 22nd. I imagine we could maybe get a trailer. I think it's really cool, especially if it is in the same universe as those Arkham games. That could be really neat.
But even
I've heard we also may get more reveal on the next Batman game too.
Which
are they working? Are they working on one?
They've been rumored on that for so long. They've kept so hush hush because everything anybody's heard has just been rumored. Nothing has been actually official, been said by any studios, but it's been rumored for a long time. They've been working on a new Batman game. Is it in the Arkham universe or is it something new?
Are you talking about from the same studio, Rocksteady, or just a Batman game by anyone?
It's Rocksteady.
Well, at first I've heard Rocksteady, but then others I've heard something else. We've heard for years that Rocksteady's been working on a Superman video game.
Mm-hmm.
Is this it?
That's
is this
ambitious.
The Superman video games?
That's very ambitious. If it's
Batman was very ambitious, the Arkham one, and they killed it with that. So,
but Arkham Knight, you already get to play as the Joker, in parts of the story of the game. So, I would argue you already are getting a preview of so you can play as Deadshot. Then you can play as Harley Quinn. Well, actually, I think you can play as Harley Quinn. No, you can't in Arkham.
Yeah,
Knight.
in Arkham City. And Arkham Knight, you were able to play as Harley Quinn.
Okay, so
Are we talking a fighter though?
No, it's not a fighter. It's not. I'll say right now, it's not going to be a fighter. I guarantee you, this game's going to be along the same kind of gameplay,
open
storytelling.
World.
Yeah, that the Arkham games were. If they made it a fighter. Rocksteady doesn't make fighters, and
we
already have
Boone, and they're already making it in Injustice 3. So.
Yeah, the Mortal Kombat people have that shit handled. Let them deal with that.
Okay, well then, it seems completely reasonable that that's probably what they're teasing.
Yeah,
definitely.
See, look at this bonus content that you viewers wouldn't normally get without Noah here, okay? We would have totally gone past it.
That's the beauty of having the guest. That's the beauty of having the comic book guru himself.
It's exciting, but until more information comes out, all we have is a poster. So
like I'll wait for the 22nd.
Yeah, the 22nd. There'll probably be a lot more information on all of this. So
there'll be so much to talk about after the 22nd.
I will talk about that trailer too. When we get the HBO trailer, I get look. You guys, you're laughing, Mike, but I bet you guys come on here and be like, it wasn't as good as it was.
I already know.
It's gonna be like the Halo reveal. For me, I'm gonna be like,
you and Adam, I already know what you're gonna say. I'm just glad
we got the 40 seconds.
It could knock.
We got the 40 seconds of black suit Superman.
Yeah, all I have to see is Henry Cavill in a black suit doing some shit, and I'll be like, all right, looks good to me. Like,
well, they've already shown that. They've done the 40 seconds. So,
yeah. Oh yeah.
That was featured in Justice Con.
We got pictures of Steppenwolf, like.
Oh, and we have a teaser. We have the teaser of Wonder Woman, and she's in some temple, and she sees hieroglyphs of Darkseid. So
that's there as well. So they're doing a drip.
Yeah.
And we'll see whatever the sploosh is.
We will be here to review it thoroughly.
Now the question is, will Adam watch it? Because last we talked, you were skeptical on like if you were going to watch it or you're just going to wait till the movie. You were like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to watch a trailer when it's released. I haven't decided yet.
Captain Constitution.
I'm definitely gonna have to wait until I hear what other people say because I am excited for it and I don't. It's one of the first films that I don't want to have spoiled for me because I don't want to see it and go, oh well, that's just fucking rehashed like Justice League. Like,
gotcha.
It looks like a completely different movie. I don't see how it's going to be the same.
If someone watches the trailer and tells me that, like someone that I trust, their opinion, like sees it and tells me that, then I'll be like,
no, I'll throw you a 20. I'll pay you.
I'm gonna strap in and be like, let's watch this.
All right.
But
mark your calendar, everybody.
Get ready. So. We're definitely gonna be there to review it for you. But I believe that's going to do it this week for Nerdy, Drunk, and Stoned.
That's sad.
Please, thank you, Noah, for joining us.
Thank you for having me on.
It has been a pleasure. It has been a pleasure, and we're definitely going to have you back. Once again, please subscribe, share with your friends, bang that bell icon so that you can get updates and watch Jason cringe.
Yeah, I mean, come on, tune in and watch all of us. Watch these guys talk about all this fun stuff.
And what I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video, which I was supposed to mention,
it's a good thing we're telling them now.
Well, I'll mention it at the beginning of next week's. Was that we've started to add. What are they called?
Timestamps.
Timestamps.
What is that thing again?
I blinked at the worst possible minute. We started at timestamps, so you can click through our videos. You can see the content that you find interesting. Sometimes we talk about games. Sometimes we talk about movies. Sometimes we talk about sports. And sometimes we just talk about other random nerdy shit.
Because of me.
And then sometimes we talk about Noah. So
true.
Please.
No, but thanks guys for having me. I had a blast. So
you were very welcome. And we cannot wait to have you back. So thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time.